Hey everyone! I hope you're having a great day today. I hope everybody had a happy new year. Welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to do this quick video for you guys today. I think this is my first video in 2021. So if you don't mind, please like, share, and subscribe. That helps me out so much. So first I went in with the VFX Strobe Primer. It's a very hydrating primer. If you have very dry skin or if you just prefer a dewy look, I highly recommend that primer. Next I'm going in with the VFX foundation, Camera Ready foundation in shade 01, I believe. Look at all that coverage, y'all. It helped cover up all my redness. You can see from one side to the other. This is a great full coverage foundation for any skin type. And then I forgot, something happened with my camera and I didn't record my concealer, but I did use the full coverage concealer stick in light ivory, and then I also set the rest of my face with the face perfecting powder in shade 03. And then now I'm using the 3-in-1 face palette. I'm using the bronzer. This is a great palette all the way around. If you're just somebody that wants a quick routine and not a bunch of products that you have to worry about, it's all in one. And I use this a lot for eyeshadows as well, for a quick look. So this is the way to go if you're that type of person. Next I'm going in with the blush from the 3-in-1 palette. I did do it a little bit heavier than I normally would, which honestly I'm kind of loving anyway, so I'll probably start doing it this way. But I was going for sort of a vampy kind of glam look, you know, darker eyes with pops of highlights and then a dark lip. So I thought this would kind of go with that a little bit better. And then of course I'm using the highlight from that palette, y'all. It's my favorite. Oh my god, it's my favorite. Do you see that glow? And now I'm going in with the brow pomade in shade 02 brown, I believe is what it's called. And I'm just using an angled brush, eyeliner brush from our Pro brush set. And I have really been enjoying this. I haven't tried the mono powders, the eyebrow powders yet, but I love this product by far. It goes on it's very buildable, and it dries down so you don't have to worry about it flaking off or smudging off if you touch your eyebrow, anything like that. So great product. And then I decided to go in with the Glam Up eyeshadow palette. It is back in stock now. If you're interested, it's only $30.90. You cannot beat that. It's a great nude palette, so you could do so many looks with this. So I am going in with the shade Buff as a transition shade, just so it can break up the other shades. And then I went in with Magnolia on the lid, and it's just a matte light shade just to give a good base to start with. And then I went over that with the shade Gold Tail, and it's definitely a golden shimmery shade. And one thing I will say with any looks like this, it's a lot of going back and forth, so you'll see me go back and forth with all these shades throughout this whole eye look. And then I went in with En Fuego, which is a deep warm reddish brown, and I just put that in the crease. And as you can see, I just do a little bit at a time and just build it up gradually. And I like watching this sped up because you can really see that difference happen quickly. And I know a lot of people don't have a lot of patience. They'll just do this, you know, they'll just do one little swipe and then they're like, well, why can't I do this like somebody else that's doing it and gets that impact? And honestly, it's just patience and practice. You just have to constantly go back in and build it up. Some people like to just put a whole lot of pigment down and then blend it out. I am more of the type of person that likes to build it up. That way you don't have to work so hard if you make a mistake. This is easier to help prevent mistakes. And as you can see, I'm just going back in with that fluffy brush that had, and I put just a tad bit of that buff shade in it just to blend it out a little bit more. And that allows all the colors to stay without fading away too much. And I did bring that En Fuego shade down into the outer V of the lid and just kept going back and forth blending, as you can see. And then I just took a little bit of that Noir black shade, and here is an example where I barely touched that shade with my brush and I got way too much. So I put it down where I wanted it and then blended it out a little bit. And I just wanted to add a little bit more depth to this outer V. And I actually went a little heavier than I intended to, but I still think it turned out pretty good. And as you can see, I just keep going back and forth, blending. Sometimes I'll just use the brush clean, and I get a color switch and clean it off so it doesn't have any product on it, and then buff it out. And then sometimes I would go back in with that buff shade just to help blend it and not have such harsh lines. Now I'm taking that En Fuego shade, that dark red brown, and I'm just taking my fluffy brush and blending that on the bottom lash line, smoking it out pretty good and blending it up to the shades on the top. And then I didn't show this shade, sorry y'all. I did go back in with that Noir black shade and just took it right up against the lash line, and then took the fluffy brush that had the En Fuego shade on it and blended it out. And then I'm taking that Golden Tail shimmery shade and just putting it on the inner corner of my eye and on the inner part of my bottom lash line, as well as on my brow bone. And I do clean it up on my lid just a little bit. And I did use the ink liner pen in the shade brown. I kind of wish I wouldn't have done this after I finished the look. I wish I would have just kept it the way it was and just used the mascara. But at the same time, I'm a winged eyeliner girl. So this is the route I chose. I did start my liner more towards the center of my eyelid as opposed to way in the inner corner like I usually do. I just kind of thought that gave it a little bit of elegance to it and didn't take away from the shades that are on my eyelids. And of course, going back in and touching things up. And then I did use the deep black mascara. This mascara is great for getting right up close to the lash line and getting it the darkest there. I think that is something that's really hard to achieve with most mascaras, and this one does a great job at that. And then I went in with the shade Superstar in our matte liquid lipstick. As you can see, I was a little shocked by how it looked when I put it on. This was my first time ever using this shade. I love our matte liquid lipsticks. It's a wonderful formula. They dry down quickly and they do not move, y'all. But it's very comfortable. It doesn't get too dry. And as you can see, super pigmented. I really didn't, the only thing I was doing here is trying to line my lips. Otherwise, I didn't have to do just one coat. I thought this shade would be perfect for the look I was trying to go for, and I ended up falling in love with this shade. It's a great fall and winter shade if that is something that you're looking for. And last but not least, I went in with the Time Locker setting spray to set everything in place and to get some of that excess powder off. And this was the finished look. You guys are going to have to let me know in the comments down below what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.